Hello everyone, my name is Taxalba and welcome back to the Lovecraftian Video Game Retrospective and welcome to Nightmare on Azathoth. This game depicts you as a pilot in a third-person shooter game, at least superficially. You're stranded on a very distant hostile planet where everything is essentially black and white or in different shades of grey. Your goal is to leave the planet, but to do so you have to manage your various resources such as food, ammunition, sustenance, which is not quite your life force because you also have a regular life meter, and you have to fix your spaceship to leave, which is your ultimate goal. The problem is that the game doesn't really explain what the hell you're supposed to do. In fact, when I played it first, I wasn't even aware that this was as much a resource management game as it was a third-person shooter. So I was just bumbling around with no idea what to do, and the main problem is that this game doesn't have any tutorial or manual, so once you discover what you're actually supposed to do and how the game works, it didn't really feel all that rewarding. It felt more like I finally managed to, by accident, find out how a game worked that should have explained to me how it works in the first place. And what the actual discovery should be is exploring the planet. Now there are a couple of things to explore. There's essentially a ghost town, or well, partially a ghost town. There are actually creatures in there, but it doesn't really feel all that rewarding, especially because you're mostly busy defending yourself and collecting resources, so you don't really have all that much time to admire the environment. And it's also really dark in the game in general, so it's kind of difficult to see anything. And for the most part, what you see, the plant surface and the buildings, they just look like stuff we have on Earth, so it's not like anything really looks super alien except for the creatures, but even those are not as outstanding that it's worth playing the game just for that, and there's not much of variety for the creatures either. Generally spoken, the game delivers a pretty good idea that you are stranded, you're alone, you have to fight for yourself, and you have to escape from this very hostile planet, which is actually a pretty good theme. But unfortunately the execution is pretty poorly done, and I have the feeling if the game actually had the tutorial or had the manual, it still wouldn't really make much of a difference, because you would end up with a game that's actually rather short. You can complete it in under an hour, provided you don't really fail over and over and over again. There was also another aspect that the game does reset certain resources when you save and then restart from a save point, but I wasn't even sure whether it was intentional, but I definitely had to exploit it to advance, because I didn't really see any other way to beat the game, because it does get progressively harder, even though for the most part after you figured out what to do, you just establish a routine and just repeat that over and over again. As for the Lovecraftian theme, as already said, the game depicts you alone on this very hostile planet with an uncaring environment, which is a good idea, but again, it's not brilliantly executed and it doesn't really deliver anything that's good enough to save the actual game. So this game does unfortunately not get a recommendation from me, but if the creator would improve it or would maybe release a sequel that does fix all those issues, then I'd happily play it and happily give it a recommendation. Until then, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time. Take care and goodbye.